I know that we've said that we're going to push the quarterback down the road for this week, and rightfully so.
They're waiting for it. They want it today.
And we're going to talk a lot about it as the week goes on. But let's quickly, not a big discussion, just a quick roundtable. One name that you're calling to bring in for a workout this week.
No, I'm not a workout. I don't want any of those guys.
You're not working anybody
I
out.
want Kirk Cousins.
Well, okay. I want a pony for Christmas. What's your name?
That's a ridiculous comment.
No, it's not. You can't afford Kirk Cousins.
Are you Jimmy Haslam? How are you doing?
No, I'm aware of what the cap situation is.
Their cap situation is the most cap room of any team in the league.
He has no trade
spend the
clause,
freaking money.
$64 million.
Does that have to do with Kirk Cousins?
He has a no trade clause too.
Yes, I know
he's
that.
He's already said he doesn't want to go anywhere.
Guys say that. He's played for Kevin Stefanski.
One name. Bull's not picking up the phone.
Wait a second. Let me just finish my point. By the way, Kirk Cousins, I got to double check this, but somebody was telling me that his cap hit for this year is only $6 million for the rest of the year.
If they,
it's prorated, right?
So it's prorated, but it's also just the base salary.
Right.
The bonuses, the signing
So
bonuses.
it's $6 million. What do you mean they can't afford it?
So let me give you this.
$6 million. Of course they can afford it.
And I'll give Bull credit to this point.
I'm going to forward you real quick, Bull, and then, G, we're going to do a whole thing tomorrow. We're going to do the blind dating game.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to debate it. I just wanted
I'm going to forward you guys
from
my
everybody.
list so you guys can see a list of guys who will be on the list.
Who are you calling, Jay?
He would, if you get Kirk Cousins, the Browns Super Bowl contenders.
100%.
Jay, who are you calling?
I'm calling Jacoby Brissett under the assumption that Deshaun will be back at some point.
Who are you calling?
I would call Jacoby Brissett for a trade for off the street Nick Foles.
I'm going Jacoby Brissett as well. He's got instant. He'll come in. He'll be able to start in Seattle.
And did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? Jacoby Brissett was talking to P.J. Walker, and he said to him, "What advice do you have?" When he found out he was playing, he said, "Listen, if Amari Cooper is anywhere near in the screen, throw him the ball. Just throw it to him." And he was like, "Okay, cool."
Mike, what's Jacoby Brissett's cap hit for this year? Do you know?
Jacoby Brissett, if they were to trade for him now,
$2 million,
would cost him about $1.5 million for the rest of the year.
Easy money.
So you're telling me you'd rather have Jacoby Brissett at $1.5 million over Kirk Cousins at $6 million?
I think the 6 is. I think that's low. I'm not positive on that. I think that's low.
Okay, I mean, it may be wrong, but
I would think it would be low because even if it was prorated, if he's $20 million, we're not halfway through the season.
For who?
For Kirk Cousins.
It would cost him about $5.5–6 million for the rest of the year.
Why?
Because it's only what his base salary is, and it's prorated off his base salary.
What's his base salary?
$10 million.
Okay, so we're what?
Paying half the season.
Not to the half. No, we're not halfway through the season.
Yeah, so it's a little more than half.
Yeah, I
so
said
about
it's
$6
$6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's insane to want Jacoby
the reason
Brissett.
I dismiss it out of hand is because as soon as he said I'm not going anywhere, I said
no.
Okay,
You just said you dismissed it out of hand because of the money.
Yes, and the fact
Which is
that he
ridiculous.
said,
It's
and
only
the fact
$6
that he
million.
said he's not going anywhere.
So what? He said it. You asked me. I'm calling him up if I'm Kevin Stefanski. I'm saying, Kirk Cousins, you want to be on this crappy Minnesota team that's going backwards because when they get smoked again by the Niners tonight, or you want to try to win a championship with the best defense in football?
What was reported Friday, he said, I'm not going to waive my no trade clause.
Okay, but
I mean, he said that.
Well, he didn't say that. It was reported. He didn't say it publicly.
What you think it'll take to get him?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Take at least a second-round pick.
Second-round pick.
Easily.
Let's go.
Easily.
You wouldn't give up a second-round pick. Guy's one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league. He's the back end of the top 10.
I think.
What's he done in his playoffs?
What's Deshaun Watson done in his playoffs? What's Baker Mayfield done in his playoffs?
I tried.
How many guys have won in the playoffs, Jay? What's Jacoby Brissett done in the playoffs?
Listen, I made the point about Deshaun's lack of playoff success, and you poo-pooed it.
I'm just saying he's got to prove it just like Deshaun Watson does.
And what has he done in the playoffs? I'm just asking a question. Mikey?
Not
Give
much.
me some numbers.
Okay,
Deshaun
what has
Watson
Jacoby
in the
Brissett
playoffs.
done in the playoffs?
Not much.
I want
Jacoby Brissett's playoff numbers. Give me his.
They're probably
He's
0,
never played
0,
because
0,
nobody
0,
would want
0,
Jacoby
yeah.
Brissett, and you can't make the playoffs with
So
Jacoby Brissett.
we do have one quarterback that has playoff experience that we're talking about. I just asked Mikey for his numbers.
And I'm looking him up right
Curious
now.
to see
Deshaun
what
Watson
he's
in the
done.
playoffs.
He's been
not
bad in the
Deshaun
playoffs.
Watson.
Cousins.
Yeah, that's the guy we're talking about. What has he done?
We know he hasn't played well.
That's where you earn your money.
I don't care
Kirk
what he
Cousins
done
in the playoffs has
He better
played
than what
5
we got.
playoff games.
Yeah.
Right?
He's won 1 of them.
1-4.
He has 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Oh, terrible.
Wow.
5 touchdowns.
That's pretty
1
good.
interception.
He played pretty well.
Pretty damn good.
They haven't lost because of him.
It's really 4 games. He only threw 10 passes and 1 in relief. So
Yeah.
he's 1-3, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I have to break my neck to do that.
Listen, if they could get it done, I would. It's
a no-brainer.
By all means, do it.
Why would you want Brissett over Cousins if it's a $4.5 million difference?
Because I'm of the belief that Deshaun only needs a couple of weeks. I'm basing it on the fact that you're trying to wrap the wound right now. Now, if you're talking Deshaun's out for the rest of the year, okay, then let's have the Cousins conversation. But it's going to cost a lot more in capital, and every dollar counts right now on the cap. So it may not sound like a lot, but it is a lot.
What do you think it would cost just on?
I agree.
Draft.
Probably at least a second.
I don't see how they do it.
But again, I'm looking at this as let's just dress the wound. It's a wound right now. I'm not looking at this as Deshaun's out for the year. I'm looking at this as let's get through the next month.
I'm looking at it as even if he ain't out for the year, I think Deshaun Watson will be inconsistent this whole year.
He might be.
Yeah. What time?
That's how I look at
it. 120. What time?
Stefanski's 120.
And
I thought it was
120. Oh, that was 12. Okay. And also, like, this isn't fantasy. And you just paid Deshaun $230 million. If you bring Kirk Cousins into that locker room,
but he's a free agent at the end of the year.
I understand.
No, you're talking about.
I'm talking about Deshaun Watson's reaction to seeing Kirk Cousins walk in the locker room.
Suck it up, Buttercup. I mean, let's go. It's time to win.
I'm just saying.
I'm with Jason. You can't do it.
These
God.
What you can't do? What? Hold on. What you say?
These are massive.
You cannot bring Kirk Cousins in if Deshaun's not
If
out.
Deshaun's not going to, if you feel like Deshaun can't play the rest of the year, then of course you bring him in.
Hold on. He would. I agree with that. If Deshaun is not having surgery, and he is, they would have to shut him down first.
Yeah,
Yes.
you wouldn't want
No.
want Kirk Cousins standing over him
No.
saying, "I'm here for 4 games."
No.
The Browns wouldn't do that move if
They
they thought it was
can't.
4 games.
You only have that discussion if it is 100% confirmed official.
Did it
that
sway
Deshaun's
your
out.
thinking at all about the diagnosis of a micro tear after we heard what the American meteorologic or medical blah 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 orthopedic surgeons? To me, I changed my way of thinking this morning. When I saw that, I thought, well, God, if it can't heal while he's throwing the ball, you're shutting him down.
I think it's early enough in the season. I'm not ready to shut him down yet. I'm just not, because there's so much football left to go. If you sit him for 3 weeks, if you sit him for a month, you bring him back, and it looks like it did yesterday, then I think you have that conversation. But there's still enough time. There's plenty of time.
Are you guys apprehensive about the fact that, like, he did get hit, but he didn't even take a direct blow to the shoulder?
No, it was nowhere near the shoulder.
It was like,
He looked like he was dead.
and then he put his
I
his
thought
arm
that
down.
was wounded pride.
He put his
Personally,
arm down to brace his fall a little bit.
But didn't he get? I thought he got hit on an earlier throw on that same
he
spot.
did.
I thought
we were literally 6.5 miles in the sky. We were sitting
Yeah,
on
that's
the
one
roof.
of the worst press boxes in the NFL.
We were sitting on the roof. I watched the entire game
Yeah,
through
you can't
binoculars.
see anything
But
from
it looked like he took a hit on that exact same spot before the hit that knocked him out of the game.
I worry about the hit. Listen, I mean, as a quarterback, you get hit on play action, read option, RPO stuff. You get hit like run-of-the-mill hits. Think about it. You know those hits where you throw the ball, they wrap you up, drive you to the ground, and you either hit your clavicle, your collarbone, or your shoulder. He can't sustain one of those. He can't. Like, it's just, to me, and when Kevin Stefanski said, I was protecting him, I think what he meant was, I don't think you can protect yourself from hits out there.
Well, I think one of the things that was most disappointing to me was the throw that the second interception, which was overturned, came on, was the throw that you can't barely make healthy.
Yeah.
He was running away from his arm side and throwing the ball against the grain. Those are picks in the NFL. Those are picks. And the fact that he thought he could make that throw with the injury that he has, I think Stefanski said, I got to get him out of there because he's playing with a head of an old Deshaun Watson, and he's not taking into effect what his arm can do today.
Yeah,
I think he was protecting Deshaun by saying he's pulling him out to protect him. He didn't pull him out.
It felt like a benching to me too. Honestly, the way he hit his head on the turf,
we thought concussion.
It looked like concussion.
And he said the second trip into the tent was for concussion. The first trip into the tent, I think everyone knows that, right? He made 2 trips into the tent.
Yes.
First trip into the tent was for the shoulder. Second trip into the tent was for a concussion.
By the way, did you see that player was fined for physical and verbally accosting one of these unaffiliated doctors?
I didn't see that.
It happened yesterday. The fine was announced yesterday. I think it was like a $5,000 or $50,000. Might have been 50.
50 something.
Yeah, he put his hands on and was verbally berating this independent
doctor.
neurologist. It's not a good look.
Hey, man, when you get on that field,
Yeah, the testosterone.
Them
kicks
guys
in.
down there,
Yep.
you don't want to play. These dudes is they on something else when they playing.
You're right.
Yep.
We're going to let Jason unload his reporter's notebook in 1 second. We have to remind the good people out there one last time that FanDuel is the best sportsbook on the market. There is no secondary option. It is FanDuel or nothing if you're part of the UCSS fam. You can get in on all the NFL action, all the NBA action, all the Major League Playoff action, and you can get $200 in bonus bets by placing a simple $5 bet. So win or lose, you get $200 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your bet. We showed you a ticket earlier today that went from $6 to $70 on a 4-game same-game parlay, or a 4-part same-game parlay. You could be next to win something big like that. They have spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off all the action. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS.
It was 50,000. I just want to throw that in there real quick.